Daniel slammed his alarm clock for the third time that morning. The sun was already spilling through his window, yet he lay there staring at the ceiling, whispering to himself, "Tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow." It was the same line he had used for almost a year now. His phone buzzed with notifications. A friend had just uploaded a new YouTube video, another had started a clothing line, someone else had won a photography contest. Daniel sighed and scrolled past them all. He wasn't jealous, at least that's what he told himself. He was just not ready yet. He opened his notebook, the one filled with dreams: start a YouTube channel, learn photography, launch my brand. Big dreams written in bold ink, collecting dust. He whispered, "One day I'll shock them all." But deep down, he knew one day never comes on its own. That afternoon, his best friend Malik showed up. "Bro, you still in bed?" Malik laughed, tossing a pack of snacks onto his chest. Daniel shrugged. "I'm thinking, planning my next big thing." Malik smirked. "You've been planning for 2 years, man. You don't need more plans, you need movement." Daniel rolled his eyes. "Easy for you to say, you already have your life figured out." Malik chuckled. "No one does, bro. We just start before we feel ready." He stood by the door, tapping his wristwatch. The difference between dreamers and doers: one moves. After Malik left, Daniel stared at his phone screen. Malik had just uploaded another cinematic short film, thousands of views in hours. The comments section was full of love and praise. Daniel's heart sank. He knew he could do even better, but his body refused to move. Laziness had disguised itself as comfort, and comfort had become his cage. Days turned into weeks. He stayed up late watching motivational videos, but never acted. He wrote new ideas, deleted them, wrote again. The cycle never ended. One evening, his mom knocked on his door. "Daniel, dinner's ready." He didn't answer. She opened the door gently. "You used to be so full of life, son. What happened?" Daniel smiled faintly. "Just tired, Mum." She nodded. "You're not tired. You're avoiding something." Her voice was soft but sharp. "Whatever it is you keep waiting to start, maybe God's waiting for you to move first." Her words echoed long after she left. "Maybe God's waiting for me to move first." The next morning, Daniel woke up earlier than usual. He looked at his notebook again and whispered, "All right, let's try today." He picked up his old camera. The battery was half dead, the lens cracked slightly, but it was still his. He walked outside and began to film random clips: the sunrise, street vendors, a boy running barefoot. As he filmed, something stirred inside him. It wasn't perfection, but passion. He felt alive again. That night he edited a short video, rough, unpolished, but real. When he hovered over the upload button, doubt screamed in his mind. What if it's bad? What will people say? He hesitated for a full minute, then whispered, "Let's find out." He hit upload. When he woke up the next morning, his video had 37 views, not thousands, not hundreds, just 37. But one comment stood out: "This made my morning. Please make more." Daniel smiled for the first time in months. He picked up his notebook and crossed out the first line, "Start a YouTube channel." Then he wrote under it, "Next, stay consistent." That small victory changed something. He started waking up earlier, filming daily moments, posting without fear. The videos weren't perfect, but people began to notice. His comment section filled with small encouragements: "I see progress. Your editing's improving." Still, laziness fought back. There were days when he didn't feel like doing anything. One rainy afternoon, he sat staring at his camera again, whispering, "Maybe I should rest for a few days." Then he remembered Malik's words: "The difference between dreamers and doers: one moves." He grabbed his umbrella, stepped into the rain, and filmed anyway. The droplets blurred his lens, his shoes were soaked, but when he watched the footage later that night, he couldn't believe it. It was raw, cinematic, alive. That single clip became one of his most watched videos. He realized something powerful that day: discipline feels painful, but regret hurts longer. As his audience grew slowly, Daniel began to get messages from strangers. "Your video inspired me to start painting again. I was lazy too, until I watched you." He couldn't believe it. His story was now changing others. But life wasn't done testing him. A few weeks later, his laptop crashed, wiping out all his editing files. All his recent footage gone in seconds. He sat there frozen, tears welling up in his eyes. "God, not now," he whispered. "I was just getting started." Malik called that evening. "Hey bro, I saw your last post. You good?" Daniel sighed. "Everything's gone, man. All my clips. I think I'm done." Malik was quiet for a moment. "You remember what your mum said? Maybe God's waiting for you to move again, this time even without the camera." Daniel clenched his fists. "How am I supposed to move with nothing left?" "Start from where you are," Malik said softly. "That's where all great stories begin." Daniel sat in silence for a long time, rain tapping against the window. Then he whispered to himself, "All right, let's start again." The next morning, Daniel borrowed his neighbor's old laptop. It was slow, the screen flickered every few minutes, and it took nearly 15 minutes to boot. But he didn't care. He opened a blank project and started editing again, frame by frame, click by click. Every lag, every glitch, every crash pushed him closer to giving up, but something in him refused to stop this time. When Malik stopped by that evening, Daniel was still glued to the screen. "Bro," Malik laughed softly, "you're still at it." Daniel didn't look up. "If I stop now, I'll never start again." Malik nodded slowly, realizing this wasn't the same Daniel who once said, "Tomorrow." 3 days later, Daniel uploaded a new video titled, "Starting Again from Zero." It was honest, raw, and emotional, clips of him struggling to fix his laptop, talking about failure, crying halfway through a voiceover, then smiling at the end saying, "This is not the end. This is the beginning." He didn't expect much, but within 24 hours, it blew up, thousands of views, hundreds of comments. People weren't watching because it was perfect. They were watching because it was real. One comment pinned itself to his heart. "Thank you. I was giving up too, but your comeback just saved me." Daniel leaned back, tears in his eyes. For the first time, he realized success wasn't about followers or fame. It was about the courage to start again and again. Weeks passed. He began documenting his growth, daily routines, struggles, small victories. Every video carried a piece of his journey. His voice grew stronger, his storytelling sharper, his purpose clearer. Then one afternoon, while filming a sunrise, a young man approached him. "Hey, are you Daniel?" Daniel turned, surprised. "Yeah, how'd you know?" The young man smiled nervously. "Your video, the one about starting again, that changed me. I dropped out last year, gave up on everything, but after watching you, I picked up my guitar again. Thank you." Daniel was speechless. He shook the man's hand, smiled, and walked away, heart pounding. For the first time, he understood the weight of impact. He wasn't just creating content, he was creating change. That night, he recorded a new video. The room was dimly lit, just his camera and his thoughts. He looked straight into the lens and said, "If you're watching this, maybe you're like I was, ambitious but lazy, full of ideas but scared to move. Listen, you don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need perfect tools, perfect timing, or perfect courage. You just need to start. Start messy, start scared, start small, but start." His voice cracked slightly, raw and human. "I waited too long. I wasted months thinking I needed more time, more energy, more confidence. But the truth is, laziness isn't the absence of ambition, it's the fear of imperfection." He paused, eyes glistening. "The day I decided to stop waiting for the right time was the day my life started moving forward." He leaned closer, whispering like he was speaking directly to one person, "So don't just dream, move. Because if you wait for the perfect moment, you'll wait forever." The next morning, the video went viral, not because of editing tricks or expensive cameras, but because it spoke to hearts that were tired of standing still. Comments poured in. "I needed this. You made me cry. I'm finally starting today." Daniel sat in his small room, watching the numbers rise, and smiled quietly. He didn't feel like the same person anymore. He was still ambitious, but now his ambition had a pulse. It breathed through effort, not excuses. A week later, Malik called. "Bro, you're trending. How does it feel?" Daniel laughed softly. Feels like grace. You earned this, man. You kept moving. Daniel smiled. Yeah, but I'm not done yet. He picked up his notebook, the same one filled with old dreams, and flipped to the last page. There was one empty line. He wrote, "Never stop becoming." Later that night, as he prepared his next upload, he recorded a short message at the end of the video. "If you've made it this far," he said, smiling, "you're not just a viewer, you're part of this journey. And I need you to do one thing for me. If this story spoke to you, hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel. Not just for me, but as a promise to yourself that you're done waiting, because the next chapter of your life starts now." He ended the recording, exhaled deeply, and looked out his window. The city lights flickered like stars, and for the first time in a long while, he felt at peace, not because everything was perfect, but because he finally moved. Somewhere in another room, someone was watching his video, maybe lying in bed, maybe whispering tomorrow. But when Daniel's voice came through the screen saying, "Start today," something inside them shifted. And just like that, another story began.